Well, as you know, the Railroad Street project is part of a larger downtown street improvement project, so I can talk about the whole.
Talk about the whole project, yeah.
This, you may have seen on Connecting Point, WGBY had a quick story about our project, which was really nice to see. It has taken a long time to break ground on this project, but we're happy to see it moving along pretty swiftly. Work on Railroad Street in particular, you probably saw it today, the curb was installed on the north side. And once the curb is in, that's really great because you can start pouring sidewalks after that. Light pole bases are in on the north side of Railroad Street. There was one comment that I wanted to make relative to the National Grid petition that was before you earlier. So the town is installing decorative streetlights on Railroad Street as part of this project, and the town will own those and pay for the electricity. Part of that project is National Grid has to have that manhole. The town will have a quote-unquote load center, which is the transformer and distribution box for that power. That is a cabinet that sits on the sidewalk. It'll be on Upper Railroad Street as you turn the corner, so it's not right in the middle of Railroad Street, as was once proposed for the Main Street project. We've learned our lesson to try to put it out of sight. So just to clarify, what you saw earlier was a manhole, but there will be something above the street, hopefully not too noticeable. Anyway, so the Railroad Street work itself, we hope to have most of the north side buttoned up by the end of next week, because then we get into Memorial Day, and then after that is the film festival. There'll be no work at all during the film festival, so we'll just leave the project in good shape. And then after that, they'll turn to the south side of Railroad Street and do the same thing, demolish the sidewalk. They have to rebuild some of those vaults, cover some of them over completely, and some of them get operable hatchways. Paving wouldn't start until early June on Church Street. That'd be just preliminary paving. Most of the paving will be done over the course of just a few days in late June. So the paving of this is actually one of the quicker aspects of the project. Bridge Street curbing just started today down at the eastern end by the bridge. You'll see there's already a crosswalk being prepared for the future Riverwalk extension, so people can safely get from one Riverwalk to the other. So that's exciting. So we'll continue curbing on Bridge Street this week and next week, and then sidewalks on Bridge Street as well as Railroad Street. The Powerhouse Square, which was always a wild card in this because we couldn't control their schedule, has set their curb. Remember, there's going to be a public sidewalk outside of their building that they're required to build in front of the co-op building. So they've set the curb for that, and then they'll pour the sidewalk. Now that that's in, that helps us a lot. That was one thing that worried me a little bit since we couldn't control their schedule. The fact that that's in helps us now proceed with the rest of the Bridge Street work, all the way up to Maine.
No one's really appreciating
I do have one question. I do have one question about that. And I'm no expert in sidewalks nor driving by it. Don't pretend I was looking at the sidewalk and not looking at the road. But that seems like a very narrow sidewalk. Does that meet all specifications for a sidewalk?
Sorry, by Powerhouse Square?
Yes.
That's a 5-foot sidewalk.
It doesn't look, that's
No,
fine.
it's on the smaller side of sidewalks,
Yeah.
but it needs code.
I assumed it did, but I just was curious.
Next to a big building.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, we continue to keep the Chamber of Commerce up to date on the schedule. Betsy Enders goes to WSBS, records an update every week, so people can hear it on the radio, and we push it out. So far, it's been good. Obviously, we need to attend to erosion. We've had a lot of rain, and so when something's dug up, it tends to erode. So that's been difficult. Trying to maintain access to businesses, and I think once this is done, Railroad Street will be a lot nicer. You'll forget how bad those sidewalks were.
Come to the microphone, please.
Sure. Hi. Jenny Clark.
Are we getting the same slightly darker gray cement or concrete for the sidewalks that we
Yes.
had last time?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else?
I have a question also.
Steve, go ahead. That's fine.
Steve Farina, 87 Rail Road. The transformer,
that going to be in the sidewalk, and is it feasible to move it beyond the parking lot towards the railroad tracks?
The transformer's gonna be between the sidewalk and the road, as you turn the corner on Railroad Street before you get to Cata, if that makes sense. That's where it will be, that's where the power is, and that's where we need to run from. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Ed, fiber optic.
Yeah, actually Dan had asked for a fiber optic update, but this is a great time to give it. Woo-hoo, we have it. Those of you who are using your devices right now are on fiber. Isn't that exciting? It's here in Town Hall. Let me stress what I keep stressing, which is all of this was done with, all the investment has been by private money. There's been no tax money or town money to do this build out. So it's in Town Hall. In next week, it'll be at the St. James Place. The Haywee block is all internally wired and ready to go. They're waiting for a part from China, which was purchased before the tariffs, but hasn't arrived yet. So next week, that'll be ready for retail users, that people can start signing up and using it in their offices, apartments, and stores. It'll then start moving up the block and around. It will go, a conduit has been laid under Railroad Street during all of this, so they can just slide the fiber under there when they get that far. There is that transformer that was removed from the corner of Railroad and Main Street. I believe Jenny was behind moving that way back in the Main Street construction. They erased that from the plans and forgot to erase the conduit that goes under Main Street. So there's an empty conduit under Main Street we're gonna be able to use. So right now, he's using wireless technology to get himself from place to place where he hasn't wired yet. Robin's Candy is using fiber for not her phone lines, but for otherwise for her communications. So by the end of the summer, we'll be at the library and the water department. The new phone systems here will work with it as soon as they come. And then he's gonna start looking north and south of the downtown. So it's happening. It really is exciting. It's right now, because of some of the other technology, a little less noticeable. If you're using it here, your speeds aren't a lot faster download, they are a lot faster upload, and they're more reliable. It doesn't cut out like the old one did. That is all. Oh, I talked to him about Housatonic, which will require an investment from somebody other than them of just under $200,000. I assume Gray House is looking at it, and any other development that goes on up there, we should look at what it would cost to get it up to Housatonic, but that would be huge. And it's, $200,000 sounds like a lot of money until you bond it, and so that's a possibility too. Very exciting.
I think with things moving at the mills and also with this time of school, the customer base will be there
Yes.
for the fiber extension
And
and
if you could
Housatonic.
tape it to the gas line at the same time,
Right.
we're in business.
Any questions? Select board policies and procedures.